Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I got a few tips and tricks to share with you. Why don't you stick around? Well, if you're going to stick around, watch. Recently, I did a little video on a project I think is fun. And I have a few other ones that you can do. And they're simple, inexpensive, but they're from you to somebody else, and they always appreciate it. I don't ever give something away. They go, oh, I don't want this. Things are appreciated. So I want to show you a few tips and tricks. We did this bottle stopper a while back, and I had a coin put in the top of it. It sits on roof nails, stainless steel. This is made by Paul Holmes. Stainless steel stopper thing. What would you call it? Stainless steel insert. All right, we did this using the mandrel made for and by roof nails to hold it. It was pretty simple. We took a block of wood, which I got from Ruth, and we drilled a hole in the bottom of it, and then we threaded it on this mandrel. Now, did a couple of things for us. The mandrel helped us hold it. The mandrel is the right size to match that crown on the bottle stopper, the stainless steel part, so that when they join, it's not a hill or a bump or this is larger than that. So that was a program to use it with a screw-in bottle stopper, a mandrel, drawbars in there, and such like that. But if you need to cut corners, get your nickels together. I'm going to show you how to do it. History. A while back, I worked for a very large architectural firm, probably large in Louisiana. And they didn't really do Christmas gifts or bonuses or anything like that. But I was there and somebody said, you know, Christmas is coming up, and I worked with about 10 people worked under me there, and I couldn't go Christmas without giving them something. So I came to the shop and I turned, well, actually 82 bottle stoppers before Christmas. It didn't cost me a lot of money because I took the bucks out of the trouble, or trouble out of the bucks. All right, I was doing it with a number 2 Morse taper sitting into a drawbar. Now, getting it out is just that simple. I've tapped it, and then I'm going to unscrew the drawbar. And that's, the drawbar is an important part of this operation. If you try without it, it's okay, but you tried. Mandrel's here. Number 2 Morse taper. You don't want to put this where it can get banged up at. And whatever you do, don't hit her, don't sand it. Now, I took out my Morse taper, my mandrel. Now I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to show you how we're going to cheat here. Okay. If I just see what I'm looking at. Mom said that. We're going to cheat. I'm going to use the same block of wood, or a block of wood. And remember, this can be anything. From 2x4, I'm 2x4 down. It all works. It's how you cut it. And if you get the crazy on finishes with the stains and dyes, it's even more than that. Because nobody can match your work. They really can't. Same block of wood. I'm going to drill a 3/8 inch hole. Then I'm going to drive in a 3/8 inch dowel. And I thought I brought one in with me, but well, let's not get into that. I'm going to put a 3/8 inch dowel in it, and then I want to hold it. Now, I could hold that in my 3-jaw chuck. Right here, my regular Jacobs type chuck. In fact, this one's made by Jacobs. That I can hold it with that. The problem with that is it crushes on 3 points. And you're going to have a good contact for 3 points, but you've got more than 3 points. So, what I'm switching over to is a Collet Chuck. That's a Collet Chuck. It looks just like that one I took out, but except it's got a hole in the end of it. That hole is 3/8 inch. I get this at littlemachineShop.com because they got everything I need for machining type work. I'm going to put that in. Thread my drawbar, and don't tighten it up. Then I'm going to take this block with the dowel and place it in that chuck and tighten it up. Now, why this versus my 3-jaw chuck? This is going to give me a 99.9354% holding power on the dowel. I measured that. On the holding power of the dowel, even squish. And it's going to hold it. Now, I'm now holding onto a wooden stick. I have to bring my tailstock up, and I got to be a gentleman when I trim it down. So first thing I normally do, and I got one around here, I 8-side block. You take it to the bandsaw. Don't knock the corners off. Exactly? Don't get exactly. Just knock the corners off. And then when you put it on your glue block or you drill it or whatever, then you don't have to hit those corners. This was for a different type of project. But it's still got the corners on it. And it's going to become another project before we're done. That just hit me a second ago. All right. Because as Kim Tippin tells me, there's no such thing as scrap wood. Just wood waiting to be turned. Now, I'm holding that dowel in a 3/8 inch in block. And I can bring my tailstock up. I can do all my roughing and all. And at the very end, I can pull my tailstock away and improve the top. Now, if I'm a little leery about pulling my tailstock away, I can always put what I call a soft touch. It's a block that slips over my tailstock, and I can push it up against the piece I'm turning. And that way, when I want to make those final cuts, if I make contact with my tailstock, it's a piece of wood, and it won't dull my tools. And suppose I cut it, what the heck? I've made it out of what I call scrap lumber. This is a piece of mahogany. The corner's off with bowl. Scrape a corner, went back and used those pieces. It's nice. Now, that's holding it here. Now, if I want to shift gears a little bit, stick with me. I'm trying to get the clutch to go in right now. Oh, while we're still in overdrive, the drawbar for the first mandrel by Ruth Nance was a 1/4 and it had a knob on the top of it, tightening it up. It's pretty simple. I get this at MSC Direct. You might find it at your real hardware store. It helps out when you put it in. This one, this is a 3/8 16. Now, it just means I have another drawbar. Not that I can't do it, just have to have another drawbar. They don't go bad. Let's go to step number 3. Again, we're talking a block of wood. You drill the hole in it. Let's this time cut it a little bit smaller than 3/8. 13/64. How's that work? I think that's the number I wrote down. All right. Put a hole in it. Now, this time I want to put it on a mandrel, but I don't have a mandrel. Yes, I do. Right there. That's my mandrel. I'm going to take this Jacobs chuck. It's really a Jacobs. And I'm going to put me a piece of a 3/8 inch, like you had for the drawbar. Keep a piece of that rod. I'm going to put that piece of rod in it, clamp it down. I like to show it to you in real time, but I don't have a piece of rod in the house. Clamp it down, and that holds my piece. I can thread this onto the 3/8 bolt. Let's play a little bit. Let's make the bolt a 1/4 inch longer and put a piece of MDF, plywood, or whatever between this and that bolt. Why? Because when you cut down and make contact with the plywood, it's plywood. If you cut down and make contact with the chuck, it's a tool. And it could be dangerous. So let's put a buffer there. I like a piece of 1/4 inch plywood. And I put it in and I round it and everything. And normally I would round it to the size that I want the bottom to fit. And that way when I come down for that taper, I'm the right way to stop it at. So you hold it there. That's the third way. Yeah, this is a good idea. Now, I don't have a drawbar on this. I could go get a hammer. Just so you know, I don't go get a hammer, but I'm told don't show you that I'm hitting it with my tailstock or my tool rest. All right, This goes over in the tool rack. Next up, and it's not in there, I can't show you, is a faceplate. Good old-fashioned faceplate. You put a plywood board on the front of the faceplate. You drill a hole through the faceplate that the bolt will thread right through, and you drill your hole on the lathe while it's spinning, so you don't have to worry about all this, it'll wobble and all. So you put the plywood on, then you drill the hole. Go a little bit tight on it. Maybe not 3/8. Let's get it a little bit snugger than that. And when you buy the bolt, buy it threaded all the way to the cap. Now, we're going to put the bolt in, tighten it down with a socket. All right. Put a little epoxy on it when you put it in. It's running true, the epoxy's in there, and you don't want it to come out, and then you have the faceplate with the bolt, and you can thread right onto the bolt. And you have the same type rig. You didn't buy a mandrel, you have the same type rig, and it's on your lathe. You don't have to worry about fitting, you don't have to worry about drawbars, you don't have to worry about this and all that. You've got a faceplate. Now, when you get done with it, unscrew it off the faceplate. Mark it or give it a reference of what hole goes to what thread, where it would match up at. But now you've got to throw it on the side, keep it, mark it what it is, because we don't remember anything. Mark it, put it on the side, and then you can go back to using your steel faceplate for something. It's just another way to hold things to turn them. And if I can hold it, I can turn it. Hey, as I've done before, everything I use that I have to purchase from somebody, we don't have sponsors. I'm buying this, but I'm telling you where I'm buying it at. I'll put that at the end of the video. So if I say I use this, and where I get it from, it's not a sponsorship. It's just information. If you can find a different product, a better product, you have a product, your hardware has a product, and it works the same, buy it. Buy it. It doesn't matter whose name is on it. If it works, get it. And save you some nickels. I'm going through this thing right now where folks say, you know, Eddie, I want to get this and this because they say it does that. Do you know, people have been turning wood for thousands of years. Yeah, thousands of years. Exaggeration. And they didn't have all those gizmos and gadgets. They learned how the tools cut, and they used their tools to make the cuts. Do the same thing. All right. And oh yeah, if you need me, you can go to www.eddiecastellan.com and look me up. I sell cutters and templates and Blackhawk sharpening rigs and all that. That's there. And I'm a wood turner, so this is wood turner to wood turner time. Now, I think we're all up to speed. Turn the bottle stopper. We used 4 different types to hold it. And some of those tips will be helpful to you. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm in her house, my shop, and I'm making shavings. See you soon.